The biggest scholarships for 2026 are tips for your essays. It's also being a full-time videographer, including NBC Olympic Games. I'm also a France Excellence Scholar. Scholarships, grants, education in Europe. Hi guys, my name is Lisa. I'm a documentary filmmaker and a videographer based in Paris. On my Instagram, I post a lot of behind the scenes, how to get job opportunities in media, what does it feel to be a scholar in France and Europe, and how to get jobs all around the world. So please follow for that. I post a lot. I do weekly series of Monday filmmaking tips, so don't forget to check that out. The biggest thing for me that opened my doors was believing in myself that I can get national competitive scholarships. The biggest scholarships for 2026 are, if you're based in the United States, I definitely recommend you applying for Fulbright. I was a Fulbright semi-finalist twice. I applied twice. Third year, I decided not to do it. It was actually this year I could have done it. So I was getting through United States application system and the committee in the United States, and then France would not want me to continue. And that's okay because both times I got incredible other opportunities. So I applied for multiple things at once. First time I applied for a Mitchell scholarship, which was actually the last year it was active, was last year. That allowed me to have a US-Ireland connection where I was able to choose any university in Ireland to go to study for free. Also, all of the tuition fees, housing fees, flights, and a stipend was included. It was an incredible opportunity and it felt like a cohort of like a family. If you know about scholarships like Rhodes, Mitchell, Marshall, Fulbright, you'll probably have heard of Mitchell, George J. Mitchell Scholarship. If you want to study in France, definitely apply to Eiffel Scholarship. If you're in sciences, engineering, anything technical, law, things like that, they will definitely accept you. In the arts, it's a little bit different. I think the history of art is also accepted. But the Eiffel Scholarship is a huge opportunity for you to have a stipend every month and all of your education paid for. Next one is France Excellence Scholarship. France Excellence now does not give you a stipend every month, but it does allow you to choose any university that you want to go to and have a free tuition. A lot of the universities would accept you as an actual scholar, Campus France Scholar, which waives all of your tuition, fees for visas, any other appointments that you need to have, and it also gives you a little extra insurance on top of your Amélie insurance, which is a regular thing in France, which is free. Next is a cruise scholarship. Cruise scholarship is also a huge thing here in France. If you're a European citizen, that will help you a lot more to get that cruise scholarship. But if you already arrived and you're either a master's student or study abroad student, cruise scholarships will either give you really cheap accommodation for 300, 400 euros. I remember when I was studying abroad in Paris, in Paris Dauphine, I had a cruise accommodation in the 17th arrondissement. It was fantastic. It was 400 euros. I actually have a video about it on my YouTube channel too, so you can check it out, how those studios look like. But it's amazing if you're just studying abroad. If you're a master's student, I would recommend you making an appointment with cruise. First of all, about their €1 meals in the cruise restaurants. That scholarship is kind of amazing because usually if you're a student, it's 350 euros a meal. But if you are a scholarship holder, your meals are €1, which is amazing. Like during the week, you don't have to think about cooking food. You can just go to one of the restaurants all around Paris and get yourself a meal. Also, you can make an appointment with them, with their social representatives, and say that I really need that monetary support now, like with help with either housing or anything like that, or groceries, and that will allow you to have a grant of 1,000 euros or less, I think. And it depends, you can ask that multiple times a year, so definitely do that in advance. Next one, a really huge thing that just opened up in the United States is Lafayette Scholarship. The deadline just passed a month ago or so, but that will allow you to have full cover tuition and a monthly stipend for the universities that are listed on the website. Definitely apply for next year and look out for the deadlines. They are really well communicative. They communicate so well with you through emails. They always send updates, what they're looking for and stuff like that. A big scholarship for arts right now in Paris to live in the US Foundation, where I actually have my studio now, Harriet, Hale, Woolley scholarship. You will be able to stay in one of the big studios here at the US Foundation, have 10,000 euros a year, plus any other support that you may require. And if you have a Fulbright along with that, you will have also a monthly stipend from Fulbright. US Foundation is one of the biggest houses at the Cité Universitaire, where all of the houses of different countries are represented, and it's a student housing. But on the 5th floor of the US Foundation, there are artist studios and ateliers where you can have either two-story studio or a music studio where you can practice all year long and perform in the foundation. There's a lot of activities being scheduled, so definitely recommend checking that out. Their deadlines are coming up in January, so please apply. We're actually looking for more artists for Harriet Woolley scholars. Either in painting or any kind of art, music, we're really looking for those artists right now. If you're not United States student, what a lot of my friends have done in Ireland, whom I met in France and all of us everywhere, is Erasmus Plus or Erasmus Mundus programs. Erasmus Mundus allows you to stay in Europe for at least 2 years, 1 year in one country, second year in another country, and it's an incredible opportunity. Like one of my friends is doing AI engineering, a program, and it's a huge master's. And we met he's from Brazil originally, but we met in Ireland, in Dublin, and now he's doing his second year in Spain, and then he wants to move to France to continue his work, and he's already working as also a lawyer. Some scholarship covers just full tuition, others also have a stipend, and others just allows you to enter the program and you pay for everything yourself. So definitely recommend looking for that. If you don't have a big scholarship, but you don't also want to pay the tuition in Europe, comparatively to United States, for example, the tuition in France is really low. It's usually around 2,000–3,000 euros and some fees of 100 to 200 euros. But it's nothing compared to a lot of other countries. But if you are in a situation where you can't pay the tuition fees, you can always request to waive the fees. Or if you have, I believe if you have a stage, or if you're a working student, you can also request to waive the fees with the university. It all depends on your specific university. I am doing a master's in cinema and audiovisual production with Sorbonne Nouvelle. It's not Sorbonne Panthéon, it's a little bit different kind of also place in Paris. But I am talking directly to Sorbonne Nouvelle about the opportunities they have for me. For example, I applied recently for social support, and I'm waiting to hear the result in January, where each commission, every couple of months, the commission at Sorbonne Nouvelle chooses students who need money the most, support, based on their financial situation, and then they give them either a tuition fee or anything like that, or help with the rent for that month and things like that. Also, what I was able to request through my university are checks alimentaires that I can use in restaurants and supermarkets to buy food and groceries or anything like hygiene-related things. Well, really helpful. I got 150 euros in checks of 10 euros for the whole month of December, which helped me so much. I was able to celebrate Christmas and New Year's with my friends and cook delicious meals. So that is definitely a way for you to talk to your university. Tips for your essays when you're applying to these scholarships. Make yourself stand out. Make your story a real human story. I know that right now it's really easy to write ChatGPT essays and then submit them and think, oh my God, I'm just gonna pass it. It's the perfect template of the essay. People see that, and commission always notices if you have written it or not. I start my essay with my personal story. I make them feel what Moscow, Russia felt like years ago when I was just 16 years old and I was moving to United States. How did the metro feel? How did the streets feel? Like, what did I do as a Russian living in Moscow? Like, as a young student, you know, young person, how did it make me feel? Was it competitive? Not. Like, and why did we move to United States? Why did I decide to move to France and Ireland? Personal stories always make a difference. Make them feel an emotion. Either make them cry at the end, laugh, be curious about you as a person, or say something that will make them stop their eyes. They're reading thousands of essays every day. If you make them stop with the way you write your essay, not with I'm an outstanding student and these basic adjectives that don't have a soul in them at all, like they're not going to select you. They're not even going to read the essays. A lot of these scholarships, yes, you need to have the merit, you need to have some kind of good, academical background, but I didn't have a high GPA, I didn't have these amazing grades, but I had a great story, great personality, I had things to say, and I was also a Russian-born American filmmaker who's a woman who has done so many incredible things, who's so passionate about life and work. And I was a documentary filmmaker. It's so rare for these big scholarships to accept media people or women who work in media. It's usually journalists. Make them see why you and your project is gonna change the world. Because you have to believe in yourself that you will change the world, that the country will benefit from you being there. Don't just think about how you want to experience this intercultural connection and relationship and community. Think about how will people in that country benefit from you being there? What have you already done that can prove that you can achieve that? Or what experience in your life led you to wanting to continue, work here? For example, why France for me? Since I was a young girl, I've been reading books on resistance circles, on spies, on wars, on history. Russia has a huge history, and I would sit on the couch reading books about history, about wars and connections, and how people move from one country to another for years, in all different languages, in Russian, English, and eventually French. I was first fascinated by fashion movement from Paris to New York to Moscow. How was Russia connected to in those movements? Theater, ballet, museums, art. I'm also a painter. I was classically trained as a painter. Every time I say that, people are like, oh, wow. And I say, I've painted 8 murals in my parents' house during COVID because that was my way of expressing myself. When I moved to the United States, I didn't have good English skills, so my way of talking was through art and filmmaking. I would start interviewing people and letting them tell their story, or I would paint portraits or start my own business to be able to talk to the art community in Norman, Oklahoma, and share my story through that, share my culture through that. Because for a lot of immigrants, cultural identity is very important. And when you're moving a lot, you lose that cultural identity. And for my work, I really want to explore that. I want to explore how people preserve that cultural identity when they move to other countries. How much of themselves do they have to give up in order to become a member of the society in a new country, and at the same time to preserve their life, their culture. That is one of the ways I start, my essays. Or I start, imagine walking in the metro, beautiful card statues, huge ceilings, like meters, like kilometers down in the ground, and you see these gorgeous, golden metro stations and trains passing by every minute, and beautiful people in fur coats walking around to the next theater or ballet performance. This is Moscow, Russia. It immediately makes people imagine a story, a picture, and imagine where you're coming from, what kind of culture you have or had before. And then I jump into how I moved to Norman, Oklahoma, and what is the difference there. And that I didn't lose myself by moving to a smaller place in the middle of the United States, but I found myself actually. Like there was less competition in Norman, Oklahoma, so I was able to try myself in all aspects of life. And that helped me a lot in building my identity as a filmmaker. That lets the community know that no matter where you're at, you're able to find purpose, your journey, you're connecting with people, you are a storyteller, you are knowledgeable, you love people, you can change the world, and your impact and presence in a place matters. And then, of course, you want to do a lot of research on what your research will bring to the country and what has been already done. For example, in Ireland, I was talking a lot about immigration and how important it is to document the asylum system in Ireland. For my big documentary in Ireland, my team and I chose the story of an asylum seeker who was on a deportation order, and we explored the asylum system with it. It was a huge project, and I do hope to one day come back and expand it eventually. Final advice for scholarships in France and Europe: find your professor that you like, your mentor. Identify first at least 5 universities that you want to apply to. I have applied only to Paris because I knew I wanted to go to Paris. Sorbonne has free tuition in their main campus in Sorbonne University for arts, history, I think sciences, and all of that. So if you get in, you get to be a student for free, only with a few like a few €100 fees. Identify your mentors who will vouch for you. In a lot of universities in Paris, you have to have a mentor who will support your project and you. If you apply through the United States, you'll be applying through Campus France for your undergrad and your master's, your first year of master's. And if you're applying through Europe, like I did, I applied from Ireland to France, you will have to apply directly on Mon Master for your first year of master's. Be very careful with deadlines because Campus France deadline is December, but Mon Master and French and European deadlines are in March, April, May. They're really late. So don't miss your chances. You have to start writing your applications really early on. Get your recommendation letters early and make sure they send them to you in PDF format so that eventually you can keep it and easily send it to them again if you need a new recommendation or you have a new scholarship to apply to. Always have a bunch of recommendation letters saved. Having a relationship with your professor is really important. Send emails, send them exactly why you like their work. In my media filmmaking route, I liked my professor's films or documentaries they've been making or where they lived, so I would send that information years in advance. I've built my connection with my current professor, my current director of my program, 4 years ago, when I was also studying abroad here, and I would have meetings with him and trying to see like what he's working on, how can I, be of help, and vice versa. So that is really helpful. 2026, 2027 will be the year to apply for scholarships in France. Believe in yourself, advocate for yourself. I didn't come from a family who knew everything about scholarships. I didn't have the most incredible grades, but I got incredible scholarships because I believed in myself, because I told my story and I believed in it, and I really wanted to make a difference and make it happen. I cannot wait to see you in Paris soon. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. You can text me on Instagram. You can also send me an email, and I'll be happy to help you with your essays or anything that you have questions on. Please let me know. In the next video, I'll talk to you about how to get an accommodation in Paris. Bye, guys.